lecture today. So I think just about everybody, still okay?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they need to turn up the mic a little bit. Huh.
Yeah, they can't hear you back there.
You gonna go ask? Thank you. So, I'll talk louder. My name is Teresa Cameron, and people always ask me, what is it that you do? Well, I call myself a healer and a medium because people really like labels, and it kind of gives us something to attach to know what people, what it is that you can kind of expect. But what I do, it's really hard to label. I don't think it's not a specific modality. It's not something that I was really taught. It was not something that, I can even teach others, but I share. My gift is sharing pure source energy. So I open to pure source, and that energy starts flowing. And for those of you here that are sensitive to energy, you may feel that energy flowing right now, and you may feel tingling, heat, pressure, and that's all normal. It's all very good. If you don't feel anything at all, that's okay. It's still adjusting, it's still working on you. Now this beautiful energy is very healing, it's very balancing, and in that balanced space is where people can start to heal themselves. So I share that energy with you. Right now it's flowing. When I individually work on you, in that space I get information for you, about you. And usually it's very pertinent to where you may be blocked, things that are holding you back, family, lineage problems, things that have kind of settled over your family, past lives even will come through. Now I don't concentrate necessarily on past lives, but if there's things that come through that maybe have still got you stuck and you've been doing it lifetime after lifetime, it's time to adjust you and move you out of that space. And so I'm just showing that. Now, when I'm working on people individually, it's, no two sessions are ever the same. Each individual person has their own space. Even if you had a twin sister that was sitting right beside you, there would be two totally different sessions. And that pure source energy allows me on a frequency level to adjust your body frequency so that it comes more into a natural balance. And when it starts coming into balance, things that no longer are that aren't serving you, that aren't to your highest good, start falling away. Physical, emotional, spiritual. And it can be very moving. Most people will feel some shifting going on. It's a space where that connection that we all have, every single one of us on earth, has the ability to connect. I say pure source. I work with a number of different people from a number of different backgrounds, and so I say pure source. It's not offending anybody. Everybody knows what it is that I'm talking about, that universal energy. Now, all of us are connected, and all of us can connect even stronger. We can connect at a higher level. Our journey this lifetime, past lifetimes, is to come into that connection space, find our own true strength, our own true power, and really step into that. So when you connect, it really does bring peace. It brings knowing. It brings harmony. There's so many people out there right now that have disconnected not just from pure source, but from themselves and from their families and from their friends. and they have no idea how to reconnect. Our society right now it really does encourage disconnection.
Oh, Chandler. Wanted to change the value. Yes.
That's why my father was
Test.
So what I was saying to Chandler is I drain everything. I have to actually plug my iPad into the wall to use it because it goes dead so quickly that I can't even, half an hour and it goes from 100 to 0. So, yeah, that's not unusual. So, disconnecting. Yes, very much society right now. It is disconnecting. The news, computers, bullying. I mean, everything right now encourages us not to connect on a heart space with other people. But most importantly, it keeps us so busy and so distracted that we forget to connect to ourselves. And when we disconnect from ourselves, it really becomes almost impossible to connect fully with others. So we start feeling lonely, we start feeling isolated, we start feeling anxious, we start feeling depressed, we start feeling really, really sad. When we can't sit down and really be with ourselves, just be quiet, be connected. We all do it. We all, you grab a hot cup of tea, sit down and look at the beautiful ocean. You grab a good book and you just immerse yourself in it. You just be. When we can do that more and more often, it really does help us come back into ourselves, to really step back into our power. When we're so busy out there being disconnected from ourselves, we tend to get busy worrying about others. We get busy being concerned about them. We get busy gossiping about them. What that does is that takes us out of our own power. And when we move out of that power, again, loneliness, sadness, anxiety. When we quit spreading ourselves so thin outwards, there comes a point where you just can't do it anymore. You just can't. People ask so much from you that you just have nothing left to give. And when we hit that point is when oftentimes you have no choice but to figure that out, reconnect to yourself. People, I work with people that, some of my clients, I've kind of given them a heads up. If you don't stop, if you don't give yourself some time, if you don't take a break, you're going to be forced. This is coming for you. You have to, this spiritual elevation, this spiritual awakening. When you're on that path, really it is letting go, recognizing those things in ourselves that are no longer valid, those stories that we tell ourselves. But we have to start releasing those and letting those go. If we're hanging on really tight, but we're really, really wanting to elevate, you do hit that wall. You have to crash. You have to drop it all and just come into yourself. A lot of us will come into that space. Accidents, illness, some people when loved ones pass away, struggles. You know, we really, really struggle. There may be, for you, it may be financial. Maybe you really, really attach yourself to what you own, where you live, how big your house is, what your car you drive. Well, sometimes when that's the case, and that's really where we're attached, we have to be disconnected and detached from that so that we can come back into that true space and recognize the true value is really inside. It's not what you own, it's not where you live, it's not how much you have, but it's that connection, your source, you. And the more you come into you and can stand in your own power, the lighter you get, the brighter you get, the more you can share with others. And when you start shifting into that strong space, that balanced space, that true space, others around you automatically start. Especially if you have children that are young and they still live at home with you. It just happens automatically. But spouses, friends, loved ones, children, when you are strong in yourself and standing in that strength, connected, taking time for you, taking time to just be, it's the best example you can set for everybody. Let's say, balance and harmony. You know, it means something different to everybody. And for me, it really means that peace. You know, that knowing that what I speak is my truth. And it was very difficult for me when I started, I'm going to say, speaking my truth, doing what I do. Literally 2 years ago, I was visited by angels, and they told me it was time that I shared my gifts and that I really came into an understanding of who I was. Who am I? What are my gifts? You know, I knew I could see things and I heard things, and I always had things going on, and you know, my kids would be, oh yeah, that's mom, but if she says something, you gotta listen, right? It usually happens, so don't discard, but it's just my mom's, you know. But when these angels visited me, it very much was, okay, what is it that I do? I had no idea that I had this ability to share this beautiful energy with everybody. I connected to it and I understood that it was there. And I always had that knowing of the more, that faith. Even though I was raised in a very non-religious household, and I always knew. Some of my earliest memories are angels visiting me. And so when I started sharing, I thought, well, you know, I love meditation. So I'm going to share some meditation. And it started with just a few people wanted to come. And they could start feeling that energy. And people started asking me to work on them individually to help them shift, not just in a group. So I started working individually with people. And that was only 2 years ago. And I today share this with many people from really all over the world. I've got clients, usually via phone, that I have sessions with. So the energy has no time or space. I can connect in just as strongly if you're sitting in front of me or I'm touching you or you're in England. And it shifts people on a very profound level in a lot of cases. I make no claims of what people will get from this energy, from their sessions, but I'm continually humbled by what I get back from people, what's changed in their lives. And it's, you know, all the way from financial to relationships to just really stepping into that power, really, you know, getting that self-esteem back, getting their voice back, having the strength to speak their own truth. And that really is very much a personal thing. It's very much a heart space. When you can start doing that, that's where the peace comes in. You know, you don't have to always do or say or be what you think others expect of you. When you do that, again, you're stepping out of your own power. When you hand over, you know, those decisions to everybody else, again, that's handing over your own power. If you really want to step into you, it is not only do you look at yourself a lot differently, but you look at others around you differently. The outcomes have less and less, I'm going to say, outcomes of situations or outcomes of where people are going, their own journeys. You're less involved in that. Doesn't mean you don't care as much. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that you understand that they're very much on their own path, just like you are on your own path. And you worry less. You're less concerned about destinations, about outcomes, out in the future. You come more into that space of the here and now, of just being and knowing that it's going to evolve the way it's supposed to. You don't need to control outcomes. You don't need to worry about outcomes. Oftentimes, we're so worried about what's going to happen that we forget to enjoy where we're at. And that's a big thing. Again, disconnection. We're taught to worry about what we're going to do when we get out of university. We're worried about how much money we're going to make. We're worried what our kids are going to do. We're worried. A lot of fear in there. And when we can release that fear and just be, that's where that peace and harmony comes in. And again, we all have that ability to connect ourselves. We can just ask. You ask to connect with your source. You just breathe and breathe. Okay. So I love sharing meditation, and I don't know if you guys would like to do a bit of a meditation. Yeah? Okay. So just take a nice deep breath. Put your feet on the floor. You probably want to shut your eyes. So just breathing deeply. Relaxing, allowing yourself to come into this moment. There's a lot of noise in the background. And just allow that noise to become part of your releasing. Just allow it to fade into the background so that you are focusing on it. You're focusing on your breath. In, all the way to your belly. Hold it for a moment. And then releasing it out. And with every inhale, you're going to bring in that beautiful pure source energy. I'm actually going to visualize a bubble. A large one that is about the size of you, right in front of you, out about 4 feet. And it's just standing there. It's this big sphere of beautiful white energy. It's sparkling, it's effervescent. And as we breathe in, there's going to be a stream from this beautiful ball of light coming in through your nose and into your lungs. And as you're breathing that in, you're going to exhale, and it's going to start spreading throughout your body. Every breath in, it's going to get a little bit brighter. Every breath out, it spreads throughout your body even more. You may feel it moving, coming in, and spreading out. And it's filling up your feet. Just notice your feet getting brighter with this beautiful energy. Your feet may be starting to sparkle, feeling a little bit energized, activated. That beautiful ball of that sphere of light in front of you is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Now that energy that's coming in through your nose, that beautiful pure source energy that's starting to fill up your legs, it's infinite, it's limitless. By coming into you, it does not deplete, it does not diminish. In fact, it gets brighter and brighter. And as you continue to breathe it in and fill up your legs, coming up through your thighs, that brightness is coming into you. That energy that's coming into you is turning up and turning up. You can imagine you have your own switch that allows you to control this light. Just give it a couple of notches up. And again, breathing in, taking a nice deep breath, relaxing, releasing, letting go, and allowing. You're fully protected, you're fully connected, and you're just inhaling this beautiful, pure source light, filling up your legs, past your hips, into your belly. And this beautiful light absorbs all the way down to the nucleus of your cell, your DNA. It fills all of those empty spaces. Continuing to breathe in. Turn that light a little bit brighter. Filling up that belly space to your ribs. And continuing on up through your chest. Continuing to breathe deeply. Releasing and relaxing. Noticing how bright this light is getting. In your mind's eye, just look down at your lower body. Just see what you see. Do you see that sparkling light? How bright is it? Turn it up a little bit more, and a little bit more. Turn it up by 100, 1,000. Just glow relax. Continuing to breathe in this beautiful pure source energy, filling up your rib cage, your heart space, your lungs, up to your shoulders, starting to spill down into your fingertips, allowing those hands to start activating, releasing, relaxing, filling up with pure source energy. That connection space is yours, it's very strong, and you're going to turn up that bright light even more. You continue to breathe it in, relaxing and allowing. Filling your arms all the way to your elbows and continuing up to your shoulders. Continuing to breathe, relax, let go. Any sounds and distractions allow you to float on by. They have no effect on you. As you notice what you notice. And a beautiful energy starting to fill up your neck, all the way into your head space, your jaw, your ears, your eyes, your brain, all the way to the top of your head. And again, let's turn up that volume on your heart. A notch of higher, by 10, 100, 1,000. It may be so bright that you can't really look at it anymore. But really notice that that beautiful light that's so bright, it's so clear, it's so beautiful, is actually filled up in you. And you are glowing just as brightly. That space in and around you, it's like you're lighting up the room. That beautiful light is going to continue outwards through your skin. And we're going to fill up your spirit space, which is about 2 to 3 feet out around you. Allow it to just inch out of your skin. It's getting brighter and brighter. You may see it coming in front of your eyes, filling up that beautiful sphere. And again, it's kind of brighter and brighter. And because you're doing this meditation with so many other people here, all with the same intention of connection, you may be feeling those people around you. You may be feeling their beautiful connection space as well. When you meditate with people with the same intention, it actually adds intensity to the meditation. It helps heighten your experience. It helps heighten the effects that you get. Continuing to breathe deeply, filling up that beautiful spirit space around you, connecting and allowing, getting brighter and brighter. So now, the space around you is totally full, and that beautiful sphere in front of you is still getting brighter and brighter. It's not diminishing. There's nothing coming out of it that isn't infinite. As it comes, it replenishes. You are just as bright and beautiful as that pure source sphere in front of you. This is your natural state of being. In this space, it's balance, it's harmony, it's peace. It's where that love and joy can radiate out of you from that pure level. With no expectations, no needs attached. It just is. Taking a nice deep breath in, just wiggling your fingers and toes and opening your eyes when you're ready. I'm going to leave you in this beautiful sphere of pure source energy, and you connected. And you probably feel it throughout the day. Maybe tonight, for those of you who are very sensitive, you may have actual beautiful dreams, dreams come to you. And just allow. Just allow. It's beautiful. Does anybody have any questions? I usually do the questions first because after meditation people can get a little bit, we don't want to talk. So I'm in booth 500, so if any of you would like to stop by and say hi, we can have a session. I'm doing 10-minute sessions for 20 minutes. So thank you. Thank you so much.